Hey everybody, wanted to do a quick update video of what's been going on with the 349 stroker and our first time out at the track and kind of what we have going on, for what we've been working on over the weekend, some new parts that came in, and kind of what inspired a lot of the parts selection is from Simpson Racing Solutions. If you look and click on one of their projects, was stock block 670 horsepower small block Ford. So it was a 349. Of course, the 670 was with 150 shot of nitrous, but they got 510 horsepower just out of their combination. So one thing that they did, they picked up 10 horsepower just by going to a 1:7 ratio on the intake side. So that was something I wanted to try here. So I ordered a set of PRW stainless steel rockers with a split ratio, 1/6s on the exhaust, and I put the 1/7s on the intake. And then a fresh set of lifters. I had a feeling the lifters I had in there I bought used, and they were, some of them were kind of spongy, real easy to push down. So I'm not sure if they're just bleeding down too fast or what have you. So anyway, I took those out. Put a fresh set of these Elgin in, which I guess Jim at Ford Stroker says that these are one of the better brands. These HL 2205s. They are OEM manufacturer for you know, for the for the automakers and whatnot. So figured I'd give those a shot and go with that. But anyway, so we went out to the track a couple weeks ago. It was first time out. The tune wasn't even finished on this 349. We had some issues with the fueling, and it was inconsistent. So with this setup, what my tuner asked me to do was to make some screens to try to, as you can see, there's one there. Put some screens in front before and after the mass airflow sensor. So obviously I went to Ace Hardware and got a roll of screen door screen, and I put one on the front here, one right in front of the mass air sensor. I got one after right here, and then I actually have one right here in the intake. And also obviously we took off the big cone filter and we went direct to the front, so maybe we were getting a little wash from the fans, but nonetheless that was after we went to the track. So we did a couple test hits around the neighborhood, and he said it looked a lot better. So he said we were good to go to take it to the track and beat on it. So other than adding the screens in, we do have an updated tune, so the fueling should be a little better. And I've got 1/7 rockers on the intake now. Just put those in over the weekend, and a fresh set of hydraulic roller lifters from Elgin. And we will be installing this shift light here. I didn't want one of the big monster tacks. But as you see here, this wheel has a digital tack, but I won't be using that, but you just use that to set your shift points. So I will be installing this shift light. And then the only other mod that I may do is install the lighter front springs on the coilovers. Maybe we can get the front end of the car to throw the weight back a little quicker with the lighter springs. So I'm considering that. But anyway, if you guys want to check out Simpson Racing Solutions, they're up in Canada, and look on their project small block Ford at 670 horsepower, and that inspired a lot of the parts for this build, which was the trick flow stage 3 cam, the 349. Kind of followed this. Of course, theirs is carbureted, mine's fuel injected, so I think we won't be making near as much power as they have, but it kind of inspired the build. At least let me know that decent flowing heads and that trick flow stage 3 cam should work pretty well together. So, and then obviously the tip from them was they picked up 10 horsepower just by switching to a 1/7 rocker on the intake. So I decided to do that as well. And let's see here. So anyway, I've made a few notes, so I'm not going to, hopefully not ramble as much, but the first couple test passes on this 349, and again, this is a new clutch and everything. So right off the trailer, we went 123.58 miles an hour on the first pass. Of course, the clutch totally bogged and almost almost stalled out the car. So we totally dead hooked and almost bogged it. Had a 2.160 foot, which is terrible, but 123 miles an hour. The car we ran was like a 55 Chevy Gasser. He went a 1089 at 122, so we actually went a higher mile an hour than him. So there should be some potential there. And then after I made 2 more passes, the car slowed down a little bit mile per hour each time. So I figured I didn't want to do any more passes until we really got the tune finalized with the tuner. But I just wanted to see what we were at in the ballpark, and we did 1150 and 1157 at 121. So, and those were with, again, not great 60 foots, 1.7 and a 1.69. So the car's done a best of a 1.51. So this new clutch, we're gonna have to figure this out. Maybe go back to the clutch tamer, because this one really grabs. It's a dual friction clutch instead of all organic. So it's it grabs pretty quick. It'll bog the car down. But we did. Well, we got the finalized tune. We may hook the clutch tamer back up and mess with that, see if we can get that 60 foot down. But I was pretty happy with the mile an hour right off the trailer at 123.58. So that should have a potential for a 10 second pass, no problem. So yeah, today is it's Memorial Day weekend, and we've got our next test and tune on June 18th. So we'll be fiddling around with this, playing with the tune. I also did a little more research on the tuner's website and figured out how to do a little bit of tuning myself at the track with timing and with fuel. So we can experiment with pulling a couple degrees out of timing or adding a couple degrees in the tune, and we can add a couple % of fuel or take some fuel out and just see if the car goes quicker. And then I can send him that information, and we can again adjust the tune completely from there. But those are 2 global adjustments to start fine-tuning this tune. But I finally got the okay that the tune is safe to run at the track, and we can go make some passes. So looking forward to that. And the only other thing, I don't want to mess with too much, but since we have coilovers all around all 4 sides, it's pretty easy. We can lower the car down some, but I don't know what that would do to the bar angles and everything in the back. If we drop that down an inch, if that's going to hurt our anti-squat, or if I can add some back in. So I don't know. BMR, who I've got those upper brackets from, they do make brackets for your lower control arm that are adjustable, so you can lower those down and get more anti-squat on the lower bars. I mean, it's about $170, so I'm not racing out to get those, but at least I know that they're available, and they seem like they have quality products. So we may give those a shot next month if we can't do anything with putting the front springs on and getting the nose of this car to come up some, and putting the weight on the back tires a little more. So I don't know if I want to mess with the ride height just yet. Maybe just do those springs and take it to the track. We can always adjust the ride height at the track since they're coilovers. We can just put the spanner on it, and we can lower the front down or lower the back down or whatever. But I was thinking maybe dropping the whole car on all 4 corners like an inch down and just get it a little lower, see what it'll do. But that's I don't think that's going to be on the 18th. That'll be maybe a little later, maybe after that. But that's where we're at with this 349. We've got some good mile per hour out of it. Now we just got to put it all together with a good 60 foot and a nice low elapsed time. But that's the update for this week. We did work on the car over the weekend with putting in a new set of lifters and a new set of rockers. And the only other things, again, before the 18th, I want to install the shift light and those front coilover springs. All right, hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend, and we will post an update when we get closer to going to the track, and we'll post some runs from the track. All right, thank you.